Last hour of trading. Welcome back to the close. Here we go. Look at how things stand at the moment. We're just commenting between us as we came on here that we're getting a little selling pressure coming back in here. S&P back to basically flat. The Dow 0.3 to the downside already. You can see the NASDAQ holding on to a nice gain. TSX here in Toronto negative already. Same story for, Bitcoin back below 60 there at one point, guys. We're kind of consolidating at this point. Let's get into the last hour.
Okay, let's clarify something right away, because we were having a discussion right before, like seconds before we came on air, because Brendan's like the market's crashing and turning red. Now, for those of you that watch the program, those of you
no one said crashing.
I hear you, Brendan, but
I thought maybe the word
when
crashing
we talk
was...
about the market on this show, do we not mean the NASDAQ most times?
No.
By default, we're talking about the NASDAQ. I know you got to pick one, but the NASDAQ is up 0.9% because you know what is good. So the ES is about to turn red. I don't know if it happens, if it doesn't. I'll tell you what's back from the dead, and I'm gonna use this line twice because I already said this in the chat if you were on here earlier.
Dead cat bounce?
Nope, I got a new one. Like the Undertaker rising from the canvas.
Yes.
I would do it, but I got nothing for you. I can't do it.
Rest in peace, Paul Bearer.
DWAC. Yeah, you're right. Rest in peace, Paul Bearer. Legend.
Yeah.
The DWAC. Up 20%.
Go ahead. Yeah. I was going to say, there's a Netflix. You should watch this, actually. It's not that scary. I don't know anything about wrestling nowadays, but there's a Netflix special with Undertaker where New Day, which is a tag team, but I guess there's 3 of them, go into the Undertaker's house, and it's one of those choose-your-own-adventure things. It's actually pretty fun by the WWE. On that note, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the fastest 60 minutes in YouTube history. But technically, it is just 60 minutes. So, okay, WWE today, actually, the reason why I want to bring this up.
Seriously?
What?
There's actually news in...
Yeah, there's news in WWE today. Yeah, this is how I work, man. It's segues, Neil.
I didn't even know that, though. Okay.
Is it called a segue? No, a segue is the thing that you ride, right? Okay, WWE today does come out. Look at this. Look at this move on WWE, man. Like, honestly, I cannot believe how exciting this stock has been in the last little while. It doesn't do a whole hell of a lot of volume, about 600,000 shares, but WWE over the last 2 months or so, maybe has like 10 red days, nicely to the upside. And then today, they get this bump. They're doing NFTs, baby. So I want that NFT of Undertaker throwing Mankind off the top of the cage there where he broke his tooth.
Oh my God, he's killed him.
Tooth sticking out. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That was the line.
We used to watch a little wrestling.
Good old JR there. But anyways, yeah, legendary. Like that, when Vince McMahon and JR were doing the commentary, like, but that's when I was watching it, so I can't comment on today's. But yeah, there's a nice spike up for WWE on that. So let's just move on. But there you go, man. WWE, a nice little move today on NFT news.
So a couple of things moving right now as we speak. IronNet, you guys remember IronNet? That's on the move to the upside. SYTA, which I see you guys talking about it. It's at the high of the day. It's trying to break out. I'm showing you guys a daily chart so you can look at this obvious resistance at 950 and 975. So when you see it turn at 940 here on a lower high off 950, just go back to that daily. It's going to have some trouble getting through this. A breakout to me is going to be through that 975. Brendan?
Yeah, this was 11 this morning, 11-ish this morning. This Lind Partners announcement came out. They're getting $6 million in funding from Lind Partners from Seattle Mobile.
I see someone asked if I was Bret Hart or The Edge. I'm going to be The Edge because, again, Edge is from Orangeville. So he's from right here, close to Toronto. So I'm going to be Edge and Christian. I mean, Edge and Christian. I mean, maybe the best tag team. I mean, Hart Foundation was legit.
I got to take it back. I would probably go, I'd go Bret Hart.
Really?
I think.
I know, I like him. I'm just sticking with Ontario. I don't know if anybody even. Anyways, Bret Hart's from the West Coast. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Look, honestly, in wrestling, so by the way, we used to watch a lot of wrestling back.
Plus, I don't like when Bret Hart.
I'm a Norman
Smiley
Smiley guy.
Ended, man.
Norman Smiley.
I mean, I love Norman Smiley.
The greatest jobber in the history of the sport. We all know it's true. Norman Smiley, you're the man.
I mean, I remember that I was talking about Norman Smiley before, and we talked about what he was famous for. I don't know if anybody could get that again, but yeah, I know. I'm. It's more me saying, look, we are going to get to this because Microsoft's going crazy. Shiba Inu is going absolutely crazy. But when we're talking about wrestling, it has to do with the 90s. I mean, I used to have, my cousins used to come over, and we used to have that big old gangster satellite dish in the backyard. I mean, Neil probably remembers it. It was literally the size of this whole trading floor, those big black ones. And so I was like, the only one who almost knocked over my coffee in the neighborhood that had that. So like all these pay-per-views, everybody would come over there. Then sometimes they would work it, sometimes they wouldn't. Yeah, the satellite dish. I don't know if you guys remember that. Now everything is streamed and all that stuff.
Quickly back to the market. Just quickly here on SYTA.
Quickly back to the markets. We've got to get back to wrestling.
It just ticked to 950. Again, I actually tried to short this here, and then we don't have locates on it. And I just checked, unavailable still for us, SYTA, but it double topped at 950. Remember, that's that level on the daily here. And like I said, it tested this before. You go back into May and then June, so that there was a bit of a fail break at that price. You're going to see a 975 level here as a bit of a resistance point. So it's clearly everyone's looking at this and thinking it's going to be a turn, like it's some profit taking happening. And 50 could break without necessarily extending through 975. If we had locates, I would have shorted this level. Who knows? I don't know if other people. I'm sure there's some shares available. It quoted a price, but I just couldn't get any shares. So we'll see what happens on SYTA. The other one was IronNet.
That's Seattle Mobile? I think we might have had those guys on the show before.
Did we?
I think they were on the show.
Right.
SYTA. I'm pretty sure we had those guys on the show. But yeah, Brett the Hitman Hart, definitely a legend, guys. Yeah, Razor Ramon. Like, remember, if I had the toothpick in here, I'd flick it right at you guys.
That's
right
a good
now.
costume.
You know who else I like? Kurt Hennig. Anybody knows who that is? That, of course, is Mr. Perfect, and he passed away as well. You know, a good character was Doink the Clown too, but we'll talk about that after. Okay, you know, AMD today was such a wild ride, man. We hit it hard early there, right off that 122.50 break. We're hella positive today, so all things back to normal here. 122.50 upside, out for 50 cents, out for $3, and then we didn't capture the full move on AMD today up to 127. That sucks. I should have had that. And again, if you go backwards here, we talked about this on the open show. It was just lazy. I thought this was the high yesterday, but this was the post-market high into earnings. If we would have identified that, I probably would have held it, probably just to like 126.50. I probably would have got out. So it still would never have taken this high out. But you always got to look back, especially on earnings days. Where were we the day before, right? And that was the high. So I think that's a good spot there. And then just like the low today is that low in the pre-market. So you got to look for these names to come off of certain levels. And today AMD did that. And right now we actually went out to lunch. Super Chicken. Pretty good chicken place. We went out there with Jeff Mendo. You might have saw him from OTC Markets. Yeah, so Neil, if he does fall asleep, we'll throw something. We got some nice little water there. We'll get you awake. But we didn't trade anything in the afternoon, at least I haven't in a while. So 123.15 here could be a nice little bottom. We've made that before. It tipped it out right there, right where we are now. So let's see what the market does here into the close. But AMD should go for a little bit of a run as we're just barely positive.
I'll tell you what's happening here, though. DWAC. I almost said WWE. That's weird because we're talking about wrestling, so it's not weird. Again, this is twice off of 74 here. I mean, really, it's like 75 is your resistance level. 74 is the double top. It's bounced twice off of 68 already, which was previous resistance, so kind of note that. If it chews through, watch out, because Fun, by the way, on this pullback, Fun just broke $5. It's testing the low.
Yeah.
So they're kind of going at the same pace here. If 75 goes, so it's kind of looking at the chart. Oh, there is room to 90. Brendo.
I was just seeing another one back to lows here, guys. Genius Brands, GNUS, was halted earlier this morning, if you remember, for this announcement. They're acquiring this WOW Unlimited Media Canadian animation company. So it reopens, gets absolutely crushed, bouncing along here at the lows, guys, for GNUS.
Yeah, I remember yesterday we got a question on this very show, and someone said, should you hold Genius Brands, thinking that there was going to be some sort of a Disney rumor. And I said I didn't hear about that at all, but there was obviously truth to that, although it's the WOW network, like you just mentioned, they're not Disney, so hence maybe this action here today. If you're ever, and we talked about this with DWAC, right? Neil and I were talking about this during the break, and that is that, you know, like if you're holding something like this, hoping for a moonshot, that's great. But just always look back and say, like, you know, in case it doesn't happen, like, where is the damage control going to be, right? And I mean, when you look at Genius Brands on a daily chart here, if you took it yesterday, like 185, 190, realistically, I mean, is it going to break some of these bottoms today? No. I mean, they're not filing bankruptcy or anything like that, right? So as long as you take enough shares to absorb kind of a hit in case it does come right back in like it's doing today, then you live to see another day, right? And I just think that there's nothing wrong with taking risk on some of these stocks and holding out for this move because, you know, you don't get these kind of returns in the market, right? Like I could be celebrating Microsoft today, but right there, that's 80% up in one day, right? So you got to take advantage of those. I definitely appreciate people taking risk, but just do it smartly and don't put on too much risk is all I could say because you always want, and maybe I'm too conservative, and I think by trading nature I am, but you always want to be able to make a trade tomorrow, right? And I think that's the most important thing.
So we're getting, there's a lot of people asking about PayPal. At least I've seen, maybe it's the same person. I've seen PayPal up here a couple of times. I know it's down 3%. If I didn't own any PayPal shares, I would think this would be, it's getting to this 225 it's tested this level multiple times. Not in a while though, and that would be an interesting place. I'm not talking about the day trade here. I'm talking about the pressure they're under. There was the Visa headline, which I know you guys are, at least some people in the chat have been talking about it. So it's the Justice Department looking into Visa, PayPal,
Transaction Square.
It was Square transaction. So that was a muted shock. I mean, there was a wick. I mean, there was a movement in PayPal. Most of the move was in Visa. I think it came down like $1 or something. It was already under pressure today. That possibly exacerbating some of these moves in PayPal. I haven't really checked in on Square, but it's getting close to a 225 support level. That does make some sense to me. DWAC, it looks like 75 might have to wait. It's now broken this 68.5, headed all the way down into VWAP. This was like the breakout on volume came at about 65, 66. So that's where I'd be looking for. This stock has been coming down for a couple of days. And when you see these high flyers do the, hold the first day, parabolic up, and then just, slowly go down here, look at what happened. It actually held support today at what? The first day high. Yeah. So it is still above the first day's top, and which definitely means it could get itself going again, which is why there's no way I think this is going all the way back down to like 55 or 60. This is a try to get out here between 66 and 67, like one further leg down, and I want to get out. And this might not be done, right? Like as long as it holds above that initial first day price, think of it like when, for lack of a better comparison, like when GameStop or AMC, when they started going, like did you ever see like that first day break? Did you ever see those prices again? I mean, the answer was no. And I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but we're only a few days in. It's already had a big capitulation sell. Now on volume, it's breaking out after doing the exact thing you'd want to see on a stock making a bounce, which is retest the last level it had and then managed to hold it perfectly, which is what it did this morning. I kind of wish I had noticed this. I was not paying attention to DWAC when it made this double bottom right back at the first day high and then made a nice little breakout. Now that breakout's 58. So your risk to the bottom is quite big, but hey, this stock 10% is like hold my beer when it makes 10% moves like 2-3 times a day.
Oh, someone tweeted at us, I don't know if you saw it, a Hold My Beer hockey jersey. Like the guy had that on the back. I think that was pretty cool because as you're passing people, it's like they can read your name. Anyways, that was pretty cool.
It's National American Beer Day.
Yes, exactly. It's a shout out to Sam Adams and Budweiser and other watery beers. Pabst Blue Ribbon as well. Okay, so let's, and again, we're just defending Canada. Oh, I got to fix my thing. I don't have that O Canada thing on here. Yeah, no, I'm just playing around. Sam Adams, actually, that's a pretty good beer. All right, so let's go down here. Ford, someone asked me about Ford here. So Ford does have earnings today. We've seen what's happened to GM, which is why they're getting hit right now. Ford down 2 and a bit percent. I'm not even sure. GM's down 4.5% today. So we talked about this yesterday. Was it yesterday that I trimmed some Ford at $16? I trimmed some of this and put it into UiPath. So I did take some out of Ford. And again, if you're going to look here at forget about the 1 minute, this is a 20-minute chart. We went up to 16. I just trimmed it just the other day. I think it was right here around $16. So now you're down that 50 cents. What to expect on earnings? Look, it's going to be hard to make a call. I mean, let's just call up the daily chart here. I can make a call for you guys too. The big worry, and you just got to look at GM, right? Just read the GM report, and then you'll probably find out something for Ford because they're going to face the same problems. There's only one company that doesn't have any problems right now, and that is going to be Tesla. They don't have a semi shortage. They planned for this. They're building their own cars. They're building everything in-house. They've had new plants open up. They're well equipped. So the Tesla story is well written, and we know about that. The thing is, we actually had Kevin O'Leary on
NASDAQ.
Yeah, NASDAQ's going down now. Well, we don't care about that market, right? Only the S&P. Just shout out to Brendo there. We're just playing around.
Oh, he's laughing now. He's cracking up now.
No, that's like an evil. That's like a shut the hell up laugh. Trust me, I've seen that one before. Okay, so anyways, remember what Kevin O'Leary said? And it was funny because we weren't even talking about Ford or anything like that. We were talking about Tesla, and he said, good luck buying an F-150 right now, right?
Yeah.
Good luck going to a Ford dealership or a GM, any car dealership, even Tesla, and trying to get something right now. So I think inventory is going to be a story for Ford, and I am a little bit worried about what they talk about the chip shortage. People thought it would have been sorted out by now, but if they can't get enough equipment to put into their cars, then they can't make money. I'm super excited for Ford. My last buy was at $13.30, but my last sell was right here at 16, the same sell we did last time it hit 16. But yeah, look at this, Neil. We're starting to collapse right now.
I remember GM's report was good, and they're down 5%. So
it's a matter of what is, it's longer term plays, man. I mean,
it's an opportunity problem.
Everybody looks at the shiny coin, right? Which right now is Tesla, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, hold both. And I think we've been saying that. I'm long in Fisker, I'm very long in Tesla, and very long in Ford, and some small GM. But I am in all of those names. I believe in this space, and I think it's a story still to come.
Absolutely. And look, as the market came off here a little bit, I'm just pulling up, I can show the 1 minute chart, it's probably better. IronNet, cancel, I'm not going to get that, Phil. IronNet got up to $15 before a bit of a reversal. This stock has gone from 11 to 15 since lunchtime without a single halt. It actually had a big pullback, a 10% pullback, and then another run here. So it's very orderly and structured trade. So the only place you can look for it, I can look for it, is at 15, even for a short. I can't chase this thing this long at this price. It's entirely too far up. Now that's hard to see. There is sort of this level here at around $15. Like when it absolutely tanked, it then put in somewhat of resistance level. It just passes 15. That's the only other thing you can look at. If it comes back up and retests the high, I'll take a shot, but I'm not chasing this almost $1 down for the short side of the trade. I was just looking, Microsoft came back a couple of dollars. I didn't see what else was coming back into the downside, but the ES was already rolling over and the NASDAQ was not dropping. Now that is the case because the NASDAQ was up 1%. Now we're looking at 0.58. I can show you guys the chart. The NASDAQ was holding up well towards the morning's highs and then just rolled over. I think the market was probably waiting for Microsoft to turn around because it kind of was leading the way up. If you looked at most people's quote boards and my quote board, like a lot of things were down today when the NASDAQ was just churning through to the upside. A lot of things were showing red on the tape. Coke is actually up on the session. And one of the things,
reported too.
Yeah, Coke also reported. One of the things you were trading this morning, Lucid, don't sleep on this 28 resistance. It's like every time 28 breaks, it'll give you a winner, but it's going to snap back. So at this time it went to 29, which is the best it's done since it's broken that level. And once again, it is rejected on Lucid. So like if you don't think that there are people sort of running away from this every time it tries, and these are breaks of 28. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times it's been above that price. And every single time it's managed to just run away from it. So tons of resistance on Lucid at that price. I think any retest, you're probably wanting to play it in both directions. Now, obviously, this is almost a double up from that crazy bottom. I wasn't here that day, like you said, Sean.
Yeah.
But wow.
I
can only imagine what that must have been like. But either way, Lucid, a big mover here today. It is down. Tesla, as I was mentioning, did pull back in. I thought I mentioned it. Did pull back in, but it's still above that 1030 area. I was only really looking at 2 levels today, like 1,000 and then the quarter mark. Neither one really came into play. And I'm not sure I'd want to buy this particular dip, especially the way the market's coming back in. For the day trade, I think the chance to buy the dip, it had to be right off of the open. If you weren't willing to take 1030s here, which I was, and I was looking for about 25s or so. So I missed Tesla today. And I don't think it's worth going back to that well. The way the market's rolling over right now, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit, why am I still on Ford? I'm a little bit concerned, obviously, just like many of you are here, about this market here coming back in like this. I hate it when the market closes on its lows. I mean, we could do that. It doesn't have to go negative. I'm just saying closing near its lows right here, which would, I guess, put it negative. The lows are made right at the beginning of the day. So we'll wait to see here. It's trying to bounce off the VWAP right now on the NASDAQ. So hopefully that can happen, and hopefully it does.
One second.
I want to say what's up to Shiba.
That was what this for. SHIB 8.
Is that right? Right now? 8? Oh my! I got to log into my damn account right now. Hello, Shiba. What the flying? Watch your language. Wow, up to 885 right now, guys. Shiba Inu right now. So remember we did.
I was
a video.
on the can.
Neil.
It was at 5 this morning. And I was like, I should buy this, and I didn't do it. I'm not even making this up. I was literally, like, I'm not saying it to embarrass myself, but that's like 60%. That would have been the greatest.
Maybe a little too much information there.
Whatever, man. I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. I woke up. It had a flash crash. I think it was a flash crash. I didn't see it, but at 4 a.m., like, it went down like 20%.
Yeah, we talked about it on the opening.
Yeah, and then I pulled the phone. I'm like, I'm gonna open a Coinbase, and it's like, what the hell? And then now it's at 8. It's at 8.
I mean, Neil, we did a video and this thing was up 44 million%, and I was like, yeah, you know what, like. That's nuts, like 44 million%. Like, how is that even possible? And now, according to CoinGecko right here, it is up now 125 million%. So there we go. Congratulations, anybody that for some reason is long this. A hell of a lot of money down here. You are now very, very rich. Send it to me ASAP, because that was just an amazing call by anybody there. Even if you send me $100, no, just joking. But wow, great call there for anybody on Shiba Inu. Neil, I mean, literally speechless here. This is a 1 hour chart.
Market down, Shiba up. Like,
I mean, you just went from 6 to 8, which doesn't seem like that much, but trust me, that's a lot here for Shiba Inu, rocking to the upside right now. So let's get off this, because I'm already getting like 7 days. You can just see right up here. I don't know if you guys, can you guys see that? I apologize. It's hard to see this. I need to find a better website, but you can see here the 7 day down here is 57%, sorry, 173% in 7 days right there. I know there's a lot of stock that do that too, but I just know there's a lot of people holding Shiba Inu. So I say, what's up to all the SHIB army out there, because I'm part of it. I'm just not a big part. Now, I guess I have a couple grand in there, but it didn't start that way. So that's fun, man. Congratulations to anybody long Shiba Inu. Also, Wall Street Bets Bulls out today. So I'm on that name. I'm on the Wall Street Bets Bull as well, NFT. So shout out to anybody on the NFT front with that. I'm in the Wall Street Bulls NFT. You can look that up. Okay, so this is the thing. We were gone, right? And so came back in, saw this nice move up for Palantir, took some out. We still have a piece here, letting it fall back down so we could watch it, but there's an out. Palantir today, one of my top stocks, bought this bottom at 25 all day, every day. Okay, all day, every day here on Palantir. Take that trade, 25. We first started baby position at 14, 15. This is the one thing that I've learned out of, if not anything else, from doing this, and that is that you got to wait for key prices to come through, because when they do, that's when you strike. You don't have to take 50s or anything like that. Go back, put it back. We saw some resistance or some support at 25. Excuse me, some support at 25. We took that right up to the upside, 50-cent win, and now we're coming back in. I'm taking this again. Palantir. Let's see if the NASDAQ bounces off VWAP down here. Taking Palantir long right now.
So I just played the break on IronNet here. So I was short in front of 15. It stopped out at 15. I went long 15.08, and then it came back below 15. I'm doing that little count in my head, like hold the offer below, like give it a few seconds. Can the bid come back? And the bid come back? It did not. So I'm now back into the short at 73. So a bit of a worse price there. Although I'm giving myself some room to be able to add to it. Then giving it to that 15.17 top. Now on the daily chart, I did show you guys just above here, like 15.30 was a bit of a high. So right now it's a failed break at 15. I mean, for the time being, it's not a true failure until it gets below 14.50, but I am short to long to short, so paying some fees there and about 20-30 cents each time. Let's see what happens. It's trying to take out this high. IronNet super strong. Brendo, more news.
Just checking on this backed today. I don't think there was much in the way of additional news for BKKT. Yeah, no, I don't see anything. But also having a nice day, guys. Back to the upside. 20% after that collapse we saw yesterday. So a nice little bounce back to 30 for BKKT.
Backed to the upside? That's a good one.
Wow, I'm seeing everybody talking about this. You know what? Shiba Inu, again, and not just to talk about this one name, because it doesn't matter. There's a lot of crypto that go crazy. It's just that's just been such a crazy, it's the crazy, like I said, the shiny coin that's right there for everybody to look at. So Shiba Inu there. I don't know if today's rally, was it because Robinhood listed them? I don't know. I don't have, Robinhood doesn't exist here.
No, but isn't I thought Robinhood is like thinking, like they're not, it's not done. They're just saying they're doing it. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Well, that's what I don't know what's causing this SHIB move here, other than the same thing that causes every crypto move, and that is just people piling in, right? I mean, there's only so many shares or coins that go around there. In SHIB Army's case, it's trillions, but I mean, it's that FOMO trade, man.
Quadrillion.
whatever, unlimited, I think. They can just keep minting those, right? So anyways, that's definitely enough about that one. Okay, so we did go, and just congratulations, because it's now taking out 9. So I don't know what else to tell everybody. That's just getting out of hand like crazy. I am going to sell some today. I don't know. Call me paper hands, whatever. I may have been holding it from like 0, 0, 0. Like, I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay, let's go. All right, so here's Palantir. We talked about defending that level, so we're in. We'd like to get in a little bit lower. I'm going to let it break through 25 just in case. So I've stopped building. I'll build the position one more time, and then we'll take a bigger position on a slight break of 25. And then, you know, if it breaks through like 24.80, then we'll get out. Because again, we talked about learning from our mistakes. You can't just get out right at 25. I'm going to give this a little bit of room in case it does a little bit of a dance. So that's that stock right there. We did talk about PayPal a little bit already. I think this is a buy, but again, there's some headway here, headwinds, with PayPal. People still thinking that maybe they go after that Pinterest deal. There's that talk now. Visa's being investigated. Does that roll over to PayPal or to Square? PayPal down 3%.
I got $1 says that they never buy Pinterest.
What is $1?
Every bet. If you ever watch Trading Places, like the
yep.
trading movie, so like the Randolph and Mortimer, they bet $1 even though they're like millionaires. Or maybe, I guess they're billionaires.
I thought we were betting quarters mostly.
Yeah, but like every bet needs to be $1 when you're in the game, because I love that movie.
I
just don't think they're doing this deal.
No, I don't, and I hope they don't, and I don't think they are either. And we'll wait to see. But PayPal earnings. Maybe you can write it, Brandon or Valeria, PayPal earnings. It might be Friday or Thursday or Friday before open. Okay, so here's Square and PayPal both exactly down the same amount. That Visa news came out, I don't know, I was going to say 2 o'clock something, and you have seen it take some effect here. However, the market is also tank city down to the downside, right? So you got to watch out for that one too as we go. But November 8th. Thank you, Brendan. That was really quick. November 8th for PayPal, so we still got a week and a bit. Actually, a week and a bit, yeah. So next week won't even be out. So we'll watch out for that as it's coming through. Right now, Square at these bottoms. What's going on? Square at these bottoms are 235.50. Ugh, this market's getting a little nasty. I'm going to hang my hat on Palantir rather than Square right now. So that's the long that we have, guys.
I'm looking at the BKKT because IronNet just keep getting chopped up, and maybe it is going to head to the upside, but it's like rejecting every 20, 30 cents on that 15 break and then thinking it's going to be a short. And I find that if I overtrade a move like that, it's just, forget about it. Especially at the end of the day, I tend to feel like it's a bad time to be playing that game. If you do it lunchtime, like maybe you eventually get it, and then you get that the $1.50 move to pay for it. But at this time, I'm not going to make that play. Someone said BKKT is a time to short. I don't know, because I was actually looking for this one to retest back to 30 even, and I do feel like this stock should be a short just in general. The way that it's already come back in once, didn't spend much. It's like a 1 day trying to get a relief rally. The only problem with 30 is if we actually break through this level, there's really nothing to see until you get back up into the mid 30s, and even then it's kind of weak. For sure, you can start thinking about 39 to 40. Those levels make a lot of sense here. So I don't know if I like it at 20, here at 27.5, 28. Like, where's your out? I always ask myself, where am I getting out if I short 27.5 with 30 minutes to go? Because I think holding, we've probably said this way too many times, which is not enough, but you don't really want to hold something like this short overnight, right? Like if you're day trading thinking this is going to come back in, that makes sense. But overnight risk, shorting BKKT is what? Double? You've seen it go to 55, right? And that's assuming there's liquidity in the pre-market, depending on what you do with your position. So I think there is a short to be had. I need to see it closer to 30 for me to put it on here. I have paid for the short last I checked, and Brendan's got more for us.
Archer Aviation, correct me if I'm wrong, is that flying car company? I think ACHR, just popping up here, guys, just checking on that. But it's down big time anyways, all-time lows, in fact, for ACHR today.
It says, correct me if I'm wrong, there's nobody to correct it.
I just feel like I can't. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what that is, but I'll believe Brendan on that one.
By the way, this stock is
Joby as well, or Joby, the helicopters as well. So
those look interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting. We can go over to Uber. Let's go over to something that's moving around right now for you guys. You know what, that BKKT, that was one that was my, I had nightmares about this one yesterday because again, that did put us negative early yesterday as we bought this one all the way down. I thought there was a good opportunity with crypto, with it being a spin-off there from ICE and their deal with MasterCard and whatever, but it looks like it has found a little bit of a base now. Where's the 20-minute chart? Oh, someone also said, why do we use 20-minute charts? Well, I mean, for me, it's because it basically gives about a week worth of data when we have it on the show, like looking like this. So I like to look back. It gives me some key levels and things like that. So that's why I use a 20-minute chart. Obviously, this name comes from nowhere, so it's not going to be a huge help right here. But as you can see, it does give us a little bit of data here that we can see some key levels. So this is what happened to the name, and then we were buying it all. Was this yesterday or is this today? No, this is, yesterday. This little fall downwards. Now today it's back to the upside. So I think right in here, 21.22, a good spot to buy this name. And then also breaking the highs of 30.50 for BKKT could also be something to consider right now.
Coinbase is down.
Coinbase is down?
Yep.
Okay, well.
I confirmed to you guys saying in the chat, Coinbase, you can't get in.
Coinbase has crashed. So Coinbase Pro. Okay, I mean, people just talking about. We're just talking about on the chat here. Obviously, we don't have any affiliate with Coinbase or Robinhood, or we don't have affiliates with anybody. So there we go. What's up, E?
I was close. It's a helicopter-ish type thing. That's it. Looks kind of cool.
But I'm supposed to sit in that?
I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
What happened to Roy Halladay?
Yeah, not that. Well, come on, that's not. Roy Halladay was driving his own plane a little nuts, apparently. But okay, so that's BKKT. Beyond Meat moving around. Microsoft, really the winner of the day, in my opinion. Obviously, it's going to be Microsoft and Google, both up 5% or were up 5%. What a monster move for Microsoft! And congratulations, to anybody that's been holding this. We've been pounding the pavement on buying this thing. We did sell some though at sub 300, or no, I think it was it 296, I believe, right there. No, right here when it broke, we did sell some. It goes down to 280. We didn't buy any back. It's still the second highest weighting in the portfolio. We did sell some to buy Nucor, which is up more than this. So far so good on that play. We didn't do. I'll talk about crypto after, guys. Like honestly, Goldman, it's just if you're gonna add, look, the whole thing about crypto is you got to have a position that you're comfortable with. I'm not going to sit here. I don't know where Cardano's going. I mean, I can see it right now. It's at 191 and broke. I'm just seeing right now and broke this $2 level here. But I mean, right now, Bitcoin's down to 58, Ethereum's down to 39.50. Money flows probably going into SHIB right now.
Although I can tell you, well, SHIB just came back. A little bit, like it just pulled back about 10%. I mean, obviously this break has been gigantic.
But those are more than 10%.
I have the worst. This is the worst chart on that you're going to see on Coinbase in the day, because if you look at this top, you look at the top on Coinbase, that's 320.28. That's my fill. I was short Coinbase this morning. I had a long in GM and I had a short in Coinbase that literally lasted no time. Like you would have seen it pop in the show, and then you would have seen it pop out. High of the day, and Coinbase is now down like $7 from there. Actually, a bit of a flush a few minutes ago. Well, I guess right when we came on air, right at 3 o'clock, Coinbase actually broke this level. Wow, look at that barcode that it broke. I wish I had noticed this, because that probably would have been a good short. It looks like it consolidated at 312.50. That's the kind of thing. You probably could have been able to get in relatively simply right here at 312.50 when it breaks a level like that at 313.40. And now continuing to the downside, the market also coming back. That's why I'm not hunting a bounce long on Tesla. That's why I was just really looking at IronNet, which I failed at here to end the day. I had it short, I reversed to a long, I tried it short again, it then eventually broke out, and now it's starting to come back in. But look how orderly this is. This has been tricky. There's no halts to the upside. There are decent pullbacks that if you timed it right, but this is what, 14.20 just happens to pull back here. No real key level. It does give you one shot the first time going into 15. I tried the second, which is usually not as good. And now you're getting a pullback off of 15.67 at the high. So there's really nothing that's making a lot of sense to me on IronNet, except for the fact that it's going when I don't have it. So not much I can do about it.
I mean, look, the thing about if Coinbase is going to be, like people are saying, and you just confirmed it, Neil, if Coinbase is going to be down, then down with the stock, in my opinion. And like maybe that's exactly what this was. Now I know crypto is breaking right now down to the downside. We just talked about, here's Bitcoin right now on is this a 5-minute chart? It's just at these lows that it's made basically today on the 27th here. So we're just talking, this is back down to 4 a.m. These lows of 58,000. We did battle back to about 59.5. Right now it looks like crypto's trying to crash down here just a little bit. But remember, man, we're just at all-time highs. Bitcoin itself is up about 50% in a month and a half or so. So yeah, just take all these drops with a grain of salt. But again, you got to know your own crypto portfolios and what you want to do with them. But I'm going to go over to Brendo.
This was 2:20 this afternoon, guys, the last note here on Coinbase. So The connectivity issues this morning, and then it looks like 220 that was resolved.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually, the stock I'm looking at right now is GM. Like I own shares of GM, I should say that. And then I'm kind of looking at it the last time it hung out in this range. I mean, you get to 50 period here at about 52.5, which is $2 away, which was a previous support level. You can see when it broke that 52 to 53 area before, and we're getting pretty darn close to it. Like if I didn't have any, I'd probably already put some on. But I'm probably going to look at something. If we drop one more time tomorrow, I'd be looking to pick up more shares of GM. I just think it's going to be a good spot, and it was good earnings overall. And we know some of the problems that they're going to be having when it comes to supply. Those are all baked in. So I think if your time frames are long enough, I think you're going to be okay. As far as something like a Tesla, I don't know what you do with Tesla except this isn't split adjusted. So there you go. I don't know what you do with Tesla except hold it. Like it wouldn't be the craziest notion to take some profit on something like Tesla. But I just sort of feel like every time you do that on stocks that when you think the company is going to be the it company, when you look back like 10, 15 years down the line, it becomes impossible to think about doing anything but holding it, right? So as much as it makes logical sense to take some of Tesla out, just given where all of the dip buy opportunities were, the breakouts, like your levels were at 550, 560, 635, and then probably in the 667, 666 range, 680s. Like those were all the swing ideas or the best places to buy that made sense. And every single one of those, it's like taking it out as it's giving you this range here from 1,000 to 1,100, taking some profit would make sense. But sometimes you have to distinguish. Are you making a swing trade or are you holding something for the long term? And I think that's the difference with Tesla. If I got GM, by the way, tomorrow around 52, 53, that has nothing to do with swinging. That has to do with adding to the position for the long term. That's just a totally different ballgame. I think it might be a buying opportunity as well.
Okay, just in the last little bit here, Ethereum has started to go back to the upside there. It did crack through here. We'll go, this is a 1 minute chart here. Yeah, I mean 39, I guess it's not going up that much. 39 and change. Okay, back to stocks here. All right, so I just, we're all obsessed with crypto a little bit at these points of time. So here we go, Palantir. So we are long now at 07. Not a bad trade. I guess it's 07 change. So it's showing 08 there. We're hoping for a little bit more of a move than this, especially into the close with only 14 minutes to go. It looks like the NASDAQ is going to bounce here off VWAP. So that's going to be a good one coming into these levels here that we've already supported. It looks like they're going to support this 15,600 again. So that's good. Hopefully we can take this out and then land up here. And when that does happen, then that sort of, to me, means, look, I'll definitely take some out, honestly. This doesn't look like a crazy trade, but all we're trying to do right now is kind of like stack up some cash. So, oh yeah, that's right. I don't really have a thing there, so we'll fire off the sausage cannon. 25.16, 25.15 or so coming through. No, okay, the sausage cannon just went off. Around here, I think is a good spot. So if we can get up here, then ultimately, if we can get anything in here, the 25, 26s, we'll take some off now, some 16, 17, 18, and then the ultimate goal, honestly, is just a small little win up to 25, 30. Let's stack the cash now and have some fun.
Yeah, so we're not ignoring SYTA. So someone's saying, why are you guys skipping it? GS Ha. It's cool. I did talk about this and sort of give the perspective of what it looked like on the daily chart, and there was some resistance at this level at that 950, which obviously is going to be a concern at the end of the day with 20 minutes to go. So I know it's a broken record, but anytime you see this setup, it's just far more likely it's going to break after 4 o'clock. So if you can't trade pulse market, I'm not sure this one's going to take out the top in the next 20 minutes. If anything, I would certainly say, like looking at the chart, just looking at this, what I would expect to see somewhat heavy resistance at this price range. So look at the significance of the 950-ish area, and look at how big a move you've already put in here. It just seems like a lot of times, everyone's looking at the same thing. It would be shocking to me if there weren't enough sellers to hold this thing from getting to 950 or making that break today. I know it broke once and already put in a failed break, so for it to test it the second time would be a very strong move, but it might not happen until the aftermarket. So you got to be concerned at least a little bit about it. I would only short it as a day trade. I'd only short it if I got a good price and a good risk to reward, because if it breaks the high of the day, you're probably getting slipped 10 cents or so. So shorting it at 870, let's just say like right here, that's $1 worth of risk. Yeah, it's just not even worth it. You're paying for shorts as well. Like that's ridiculous. Like either you're getting a short at 935 or something like that, or you're not taking like 9.25 maybe. So there's not much of a trade for me. And the long is the same thing. If I don't think it's necessarily breaking till 4 and I'd have to be flat at the end of the day, the risk to reward on the long doesn't make sense either. So I know when we talk about stocks, we'll give you opinions, what we see in the chart, but if there's no trade on it that I can figure, then there's no trade. IronNet did just come back in, so it has rejected 15 one more time. I mean, I shouldn't, but I'm at least going to consider trying it again off this 15 level. Now it's actually consolidating lower, right? So a little bit weaker than it was when I tried it on the way up here.
Yeah, I saw, just watching here. Oh, Palantir. So yeah, we'll ring the register on some Palantir trades right now, and we'll just start throwing it around as we did get that hit. Not the hit, but we did get what we needed there. Put back to the main profile so we could do some better animations for you. But there it is, right to the upside. We talked about defending 25 bucks, and I mean, this is what I'm trying to talk about all the time. I mean, you just come back here, you zoom it back out. Here's that 20-minute chart working for us again. You know, some highs right here, 25.10, 25.20, 25 base. And this is why I was saying I didn't want to get out. If we did break a little bit lower, there's 24.90 right there, and then into 24.75. So back to back, go back 3 days, you had a 25 bottom, go back to this morning, you had a 25 bottom, go back to right now, we have a 25 bottom. So that's why, you know, you just got to be patient. It doesn't take, you know, books out there, there it is, Coinbase right now, 35 seconds ago, seeing global failures in Coinbase card swipes. I don't know, I guess you can get a coin, I guess you can get a card, swipe it through. I don't know if that's, I don't know what that's. Do they have a deal with Visa or something? I didn't even know that Coinbase had those cards. But anyways, we'll find out more about that story. I'm probably misreading it. 25.20 now to the upside. So a nice little win for us on this name. We talked about getting out when this happened. So there's the first out that we took. There's the next out into this area right here. Now the next area is up here. And then if we're lucky enough to get a bounce in the NASDAQ, then maybe we do take out this 30. But I'm sitting up here to get some more out. Maybe 20 is not a bad spot right now. We're long 8s, take 12 cents. I know it's not that much, right? But again, even if you have 500 shares, man, it's 60 bucks. Like, you could just sort of do that kind of math. You add it up, you make winning trades, and then over the day, here we go, we're waiting at 21. There's the fill at 21. So as long as you're waiting here, taking some of these fills, man, and trading, you're going to learn more, hopefully, and you're going to put some money, hopefully, in your pocket. And if not, you know, we learn, we start small, and then we build our positions up from there. So hopefully you guys are trading Palantir with me. It's one of my favorite stocks, that and Softy. So we'll continue to trade these every day.
We have got a lot of Visa questions because it's starting to think about, you know, we talk a lot about value and like where's things to maybe potentially buy. But when Visa's down 7%, I mean, it's obviously going to be interesting down at 216. You guys can all see the chart here, right? Like you've broken both major moving averages. You're right onto the recent low that got put in September at 216. I mean, yeah, it's pretty appealing. I'll tell you why I don't think it makes. A lot of times the panic day is a good position to buy, but there is also, like, I don't know much about that DOJ thing other than reading the headline. So like that's why I don't want to. That's the only thing giving me pause, right? Like I would hate to say, yeah, absolutely on the chart. Yeah, you should be starting a position here because it makes a lot of sense. If you're trying to get into the card game and you like Visa as opposed to MasterCard, let's just say, then it would make some sense to get in here. Just got stopped out on IronNet. I got to give up on that stock. It's like 3 times I've lost on the short, and I couldn't even make money on the long. I basically got a flat trade on the long. But without digging into what's really going on with that story, it's hard to endorse because maybe let that settle down and maybe it actually gives you an even better price in the next couple of days. If the market continues to come down, maybe if this gets digested further. So I would sit it out for now, but that's mostly due to ignorance when it comes to that press release or the news story that just dropped this afternoon.
All right. I think Visa's great. We talked about American Express that I liked even more than that. AMD has come in a little bit here. So I just converted some Shiba over to some Tether there. Okay, 122.60 now in AMD coming back in right now. So watch out at these levels coming through. Right here, man, 122.50 or so coming through. AMD looking weak now, was a monster today. Didn't get any out of this name either, and don't want to. Big moves up there, and I think, you know what, am I longer? I have to find out. Am I longer NVIDIA or AMD? I'm not even sure. But NVIDIA also with a big move today and then selling some, right? So there is some sell pressure coming through on NVIDIA down to 245 today. I think anything like this is worth it. This is why we talk about staying a little bit into cash, right? You got to hold some cash so that when you do get dips, I mean, It's been a crazy move. This may not be the end of the world here trying to sell into some of the strength in the market right now. You had a crazy report from Microsoft, a crazy report from Google, and then Apple's still to come. So we'll wait on them. But right now, NVIDIA all the way up, man, taking out all-time highs. Big move for them, even though we're down today. I still think this may be a good spot. I mean, 1, 2, this is what, eight or 9 straight days with basically one red day in the middle somewhere from 205 up to 250. I mean, that again, there's your 20% move right there. So 25% move, same as AMD, 25% move in a month. I mean, maybe it's time to take some out. Like I said, I'm not doing
That's
it.
the only reason something like that sells on strong earnings.
Yeah,
it's because of where it came from. Like
Yep.
sometimes it just runs too far. And what are you going to do? People ring the cash register. We should have one of those. Do we have a cash? We should have a cash.
Of course, we have a cash
register.
register, man. We have one right here. Watch this.
No, but I mean
What?
like an actual register.
I do. I thought we had a cash register blowing up. I thought that's what that was.
No, we don't. I don't have one.
What?
Okay, well, anyways, that's just, we're talking about our stream, the graphics. So I don't short SYTA, sort of talking about the risk to reward and why, I didn't think it made sense because I'd have to put a stop where I wouldn't want to, and I don't think you're wrong. And now, of course, that would be a winner. And then the stock that I do short over and over again, I keep hitting NASDAQ for IronNet. I mean,
You love IronNet.
I know. I don't love it because look what's happening. I would love it if I was long. But I do short this one multiple times. And the only good thing about this is, there it is.
What up,
I just
IronNet?
hit it. Okay, we do have it.
Yeah, we do have it. I didn't have it on my board here.
So if you're long here, then you get the cash register. The only good thing is I have to have it out every single time. I put it off the lower high this time that was putting in at about 15, 30. And again, if you don't have stops for something like this, and this is why Tisha was asking about like a swing overnight short in Tesla. I never swung overnight short in anything because to me, shorting is about like a risk structure. And unless you're putting an options play on, there's not like holding overnight short side on Tesla's a crazy momentum stock, right? So it's almost like meme-ish the way that it'll move. Classifying your overnight risk is not an easy thing to do. I just think it's reckless to do it. And in this particular case, if you don't have a stop and you're just averaging into oblivion, you're still fighting the short and IronNet. This stock is gone. I mean, it doesn't even want to halt. It has not halted a single time, despite the fact that it's gone from 10 to 16. And half of that's happened in the last hour and a half. So IronNet, you win the day. As the market falls off, IronNet just keeps on going nuts. People saying, can we hold hood shorts overnight? Well, I mean, the risk proposition's different there. Like I'll stick to the same thing. I would never do it because load. There we go. But that's just me. It's obviously a different risk proposition on Robinhood as opposed to Tesla. So I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I hate it. This stock somehow managed to not test its IPO day lows today, which I kind of felt that it might. It did not. So it still has a bottom to be made here potentially at that 33.25. It was a horrible report. Their guidance was like, we don't know how to project our revenues. Clearly like the crypto growth that they had was all about Doge, and then now that's gone. So there's a lot of things here that could probably take it back to that IPO low. And then think of how many IPOs in the last 2 years that have charts like this actually held that bottom when they got there. And if they did, was it not just temporary? Like off the top of my head, I wish I could pull up a chart, but I bet you there's half a dozen that had the same pattern, probably settled in for a couple of days, then broke the low and dropped another 20 to 30% before making an actual bottom. I guarantee you there's tons, probably a few in the EV space too.
Oh, man. Yeah, look, lots of stuff still happening. I see them talk about AMC. Well, we can go to the moon with AMC, but not today. Down that 3.5%. We did try a long here at 35. It does go upside, and then we didn't take any out, and it just came back in, and we just got out now breaking 34.80. So I gave it that bottom there, got out. It went as low as 34.60. So small risk. I mean, I left this on when we went out. So small risk here down to the downside, and now we'll have to wait to see 34.50s hopefully holding out there for AMC. But I think the squeeze could still happen to the upside. Brandon gave us news. November 1st is earnings, so AMC still a lot to talk about. But this is a 20-minute chart, guys. $44 last week, down to 34. So it's not overly pretty. What's up, Brendo?
We were talking yesterday, Sean, about I have 3 sources that I get earnings dates from. Sometimes, and this seems to be happening more often than it did in the past. I can show you this one here. This is Icon, November 1st. NTS means no time specified. I've also seen November 8th, and I've also seen November 2nd for AMC. So take your pick, I guess.
We could always crowdsource it.
Valeria put November 9th, so I'm going to go with November 9th because, we'll if you guys can, we'll do crowdsourcing.
I'd say
if
you guys
can find out when AMC. I'm sure they know.
It's like Family Feud, like or what's the like Ask the Audience and like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Right.
Like that usually works.
A lifeline.
That works out pretty well on that show.
We're going to throw a lifeline to you guys.
I don't know, man.
DWAC has had a nice recovery, up 14%. Yeah, let's have a look at DWAC there.
That one.
We talked about that earlier on today here, DWAC, and looking at basically these levels, 67, 68. And if we were going to break those, remember I drew some lines here for you guys earlier on in the morning time when we went back to this 66 level yesterday where we bounced around a little bit and we didn't want to take too much risk at this level. But you can see here as we zoom maybe in a little bit here today, as soon as we took out that 67 level, we busted up to 74. So right now, nice little level, just bouncing around that exact same idea. So if you rewind the morning show, we did talk about this move happening and that level 67. So a good move to the upside. And then we also drew the line on the downside, which was approximately, I think it was 50, what was it, very here, like 52, 53. And then you're seeing here, you come back in, you bounce at 59. So maybe that's going to be the new bottom. So let's pay attention to $60 here on DWAC. But congratulations again, man. Another 14%. If you're going to hold this thing overnight, like Neil mentioned, I don't think we want to hold short, but if you're holding long, you're paid off one more time.
And that's the thing. Like when you hold long, like I'm not saying you hold these crazy runners long. It's just that you kind of have an understanding of your risk reward just a little bit better. I mean, sometimes a lot better, but sometimes just a little bit better. BKKT here bounced off VWAP at least. Despite the fact that it's continuing to fall back down. Like this one's an easier proposition to be able to say it was like tomorrow. If it were to break that, that's kind of crazy because there's a big 39 level. There's really not much on the chart because it doesn't have a lot of price action up here on BKKT. And IronNet, man, IronNet is so strong. Yeah, like I said, like this is the kind of stock when it moves like this, and I usually will say, if something is moving up in a linear fashion that's up this much, like if you go up 50%, like it should look a little more parabolic. Like it shouldn't be a straight line like this. Like that's pretty linear. I always say like don't short a linear move on a stock that's this strong because you're just gonna get run over. Like you want it to go like parabolic. Like actually like, look at this turn up here. Like you want it to go parabolic and then maybe catch a retracement off that. So that hasn't really, it's now trying to happen, I think partly because it's a close, but I didn't even listen to my own rules here. I was just looking at the price action and a nice shiny number like 15 because it's even, and it went from 10 this morning to 15, and that's how my brain works. Ooh, 10 to 15, that makes sense.
I think you got to watch out for our quotes right now. I feel like there's something.
Oh yeah?
I don't know. Like I got out of Palantir there, but you could see one got quoted as a short because I feel like I refreshed. I'm not overfilled. Everything is fine. But we just got out for flat there on whatever this stock is here, Palantir, because again, it came all the way up. We're not going to give this money back. A nice move to the upside here. I can actually cancel right now. I just don't want to be involved anymore. I mean, the imbalances are out. So let's have a look there. That was my main reason for getting out of this. So let's see what's happening now. Ford, yuck, man. I mean, as a shareholder, we don't like to see sells, but we're fine with it. There goes Ford as a sell side right now. VTRS, Macy's. Hey, what's up, Macy's? Remember when we shorted you? That was fun. That was one of the best trades for me this month was a short Macy's off that crazy day. There's your BKKT as well. Looks like that's going to be a bid. Yeah, well, I'll put this up here so we can see some of the action. There it is right there. Nice little bid action. So maybe it got something there. Do we see anything else on here? Microsoft's a sell. Hold my beer on that one. Microsoft doesn't care about that. Apple with the buy as well. Hopefully that sparks the NASDAQ, but no. These are very, very small shares. When you're seeing, thanks for watching us again, and we're probably the only people that will show this because, again, kind of hope that we're real traders, but so when you're looking at here, the millions here, that's what we're interested in. I mean, I'm not worried about a 700,000 buy order at the end of the day for Apple. I mean, that's not going to do anything. If this was 7 million, so about 5, 10, 20% or whatever of Apple's volume, then maybe I would think that it would be somewhat consistent or it would matter. But for right now, it doesn't seem to be too much on here. For me, the most interesting name would be Macy's, but again, it's a 9 million share day, 10 million share day, and we have 1 million there. So it's about 10% of the imbalance is going to come out as a sell at the end of the day. So you can see there about 15 cents of a move downside on Macy's.
Twitter's now down 11% almost on the day. It's almost at 50.
These names are getting woodshedded, man. I mean, Brennan, do you have any news on this NASDAQ drop?
Not off the top here, but yeah, some sell pressure. I mean, we started the show with some selling pressure, guys, but Let's talk earnings. We need a Randy for a Ford at the end of the day here because it is Ford day, guys, on the earnings board.
Is it? I don't know what day it is on. MasterCard, okay, so MasterCard, we've already talked about Ford a little bit.
That's another reason not to buy Visa today.
I think
MasterCard reports tomorrow.
Exactly. So I think that there's a big sell happening there, obviously, off that report there for our friends at MasterCard and Visa. We talked about them investigating Visa, so that could spill over. We've already talked about emptying some of our shares in Ford. We switched over to UiPath. We didn't go into cash. We stayed to UiPath. And my oldest kid's name is Baxter.
I'm interested in Caterpillar and Teladoc, obviously, but I was just looking at something, and obviously there's a lot of things on there. Xilinx doesn't matter because they're being bought, but
right. There was news about the ARM deal today, by the way. I think that's part of the reason why we have a little bit of a drop down there for our friends NVIDIA. I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, the way I would look at it, sort of ranking it, if I had to rank the two deals, like AMD is going to get the Xilinx deal done, and then ARM is still in question. I think Xilinx is going to happen. It's just it probably
matter
by the
of
end
time.
of the year.
Yeah.
That's another reason why. By the way, I can't get my eyes off Twitter, and it does feel like this is pretty far down for Twitter here. I just looked; it's exactly 33, a third from the high. It's now pulled back on this monster move to the downside. You do have some support down around that 50 level. Yeah, man, Twitter looks pretty good around here. That's really far, really fast. I'd feel a little bit safer with Twitter than Snap, I'd say, just off the top of my head. But with only 5 minutes to go, IronNet did find a top at 17. I'll note that it pulled back about $1. But hey, that stock pulling back $1 when you've just seen it run about $2.50 since we came on the show. That's still closing near the highs, to my estimation. So not even a 10% pullback on IronNet. It wins the day. Obviously, BKKT, we saw with that buy and balance, it did shoot up, but not nearly as much as it would have to break the high.
I can't remember. I mean, I tweeted it out the day we bought Teladoc there, and I don't remember if it was 136 or 139. But either way, Teladoc there. I think that they may also be reporting. So
they are reporting.
Yeah. So watch out for that. That should be an interesting name as well. I mean, this could be very, very spicy. Normally, I'm not in these kind of crazy names, but not that it's crazy, but big move up, big move down here. We'll watch out for Teladoc tomorrow. Hopefully, taking out this 150 area and landing somewhere in here, 155 or so. So I like Teladoc. Especially they've revamped some of their business now. On the corporate side, so we'll wait to see. I know, I just, whisper rumor, guys, is that, they've signed up more accounts than people think. So we'll wait to see what happens with Teladoc now. Hopefully they got their revenues all sorted out. With only 4 minutes to go,
they're a legit game changer anyways. I think you're fine with a long enough time horizon on Teladoc regardless, but for the short term, you're right.
Yeah, J&J there. We talked about hiding somewhere. This might be a one to hide in. Again, that's not J&J. That's still Teladoc. That's still Teladoc. Now it's J&J. J&J down 1% today. Not as bad as some of those other names. They're also on here for a sell right now. So I don't see much on there. There's Intel, Uber. They're all right here, but they're all small in the hundreds of thousands. What is INFI? That's something there with 1 million to buy right now. But again, on a daily chart, not doing much there. We can see what it's doing on a 1 minute. Yeah, not doing anything either. So looks like the imbalances will be pretty light here so far today, but so far, so good, guys.
Absolutely. With just under 3 minutes to go, the trade of the day, by the way, will probably be Robin. Oh, I know it is. It's going to be Robinhood, so stick around. Robinhood under pressure today, of course, reporting their earnings. A lot is moving around going into the close. One stock that we did not mention, I'll just briefly get into here. I mean, the market pulled back, so I guess it's not a shock that the strongest name, big cap name of the day, I think it was anyways, is Enphase. And it turned around off 225. One thing to note, when we talked about this in the pre-market, always zoom out. Here's your daily. This is what the daily chart looked like on Enphase, and this is 225 to 222 to about 229. Split the difference at 225. It gets to a top right in that sort of target range where it failed before at the beginning of the year. So runs right into obvious resistance. The market was pulling back as well. Probably should have had a short on this one in the afternoon, but I mean, you're not going to catch them all, but this looked pretty good. It even gave you a retest at 224, 225, and that's the kind of thing you want to look for. That extra bit of confidence that you've got the level right. I know it's made a top at a nice round number at 225 here, but then you look up and you see that range on the daily chart. You see it start to roll over when it tests that high. You can probably grab like 223. It's a couple of bucks worth of a stop. You're 3-1 to VWAP there. So everything does set up for that type of a trade. Usually the kind of thing I'd be sitting in the afternoon, but I didn't make a single trade on Enphase today. And super strong stock, but hey, what goes up usually comes down because you got to sell to take profit.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Okay, so just with not too much time left, I don't know why I'm still on INFI here. Let's just watch out to see where Microsoft winds up closing. Does it stay above that 324? Nah, it doesn't look like it wants to. I was hoping that we'd stay up here, but now we're trying to break down below here, 323.50. With only a minute to go, we'll check in on Microsoft. That's a good one. We'll check on Google right now. So Microsoft's still up 4 and a bit. Google up same 4 and a bit as well. It looks 5% on Google. We'll check out on Apple. Where are we closing on this one? I think you just got to buy Apple. I don't know if you want to wait for earnings or not, but I think based on what Google did there and Microsoft, and I think Apple beats today, not today, when they report. So we'll wait on Apple right now, trying to close near, not near lows, but close enough to it, down to 148 and changes. We touched 150 just one more time with only 20 seconds now to go. Who's on the bell? I see there she is. Hey, what's up? Yeah,
Miss V.
Blocker. Block. Where are you, Miss V?
What?
Block. I can't.
Oh my God, BKKT.
Okay. All right. Only 15 seconds to go. We're very, very excited. Thank you for joining us today. And make sure you join us tomorrow at 8:30. We'll be rocking, rolling with 10 seconds left. Neil's hit it. So we only have 7, 6, 5,
4. Oh my God, BKKT.
And that is October the 27th, where we had Kevin O'Leary stop by today. Some good talks about inflation, oil, crypto, NFTs, and everything. That was really fun.
Check that one out,
Rewind. We'll be posting some videos up from that, but check it out. It's about, what was it, 10:30ish today on our morning show. So you could definitely grab that link as well. And if you want to see Jeff Mendel, handsome gentleman, you can see him as well.
Jeff, thank you very much, Jeff Mendel. You're probably not watching right now, but the good chicken sandwich was good. He's definitely not. But the great thing about the talk with Kevin is, Mr. O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, is that he can't, he shoots from the hip, right? Like you actually get legitimate answers. That's what we love him. He's a friend of the show. Like he'll sit there and he'll tell you exactly what he thinks. He doesn't really sugarcoat, and he's got a wealth of experience. And the market talk was fantastic. It was a lot of fun for us. And BKKT did go to 30 after all. So that buy and balance on BKKT actually brought it all the way up to $30 at the close. So sometimes those matter.
Go Astros, eh? Yeah. I mean, I want that. There's that mattress Mac guy or something who stands to win $35 million. He put down a futures play on the Astros, and it was like every $200 or something of a mattress that was bought at his store, he put towards the future. So it's like $35 million. It's a Mattress Mac. Maybe you guys know. Whoever's an Astro fan, Dan, you would know who it is. We'll get back to that. What's up, Brendan? How did we finish?
Let's have shout out to Toronto's own Alex Anthopoulos as well in the World Series. Negative, guys. 0.6, 0.43 here for the S&P. These were both records yesterday, so hey, we'll take it. 0.27, the NASDAQ hangs out in positive territory. Yeah, crypto's had some trouble late in the day, but I mean, overall, they're still way high. 2.9 there for crude oil as well. We'll watch some energy stocks tomorrow.
So by the Trader TV metric, the market was up today. The NASDAQ was in the green.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
NASDAQ market was up, guys. But the crude oil down finally, down 3%. I mean, we talked about that. Yeah, have a Mr. Wonderful day. Hey, good one there. Yeah, so it is Mattress Mac. So thanks for confirming that. I keep seeing it. Apparently, he brought 55 nuns into a box yesterday, so that didn't help. But thank you to Prad and to Ms. V, always killing it on the memes and movers. Hey, what up? Yeah, we have to solve a mystery for Prad, so we'll get to the bottom of that, Prad.
We know
we'll find out all about that. I still think it was Lucas. Shout out to Lucas over there on the ones and twos, kicking it by himself there. As you notice, we had absolutely no technical problems. We had no problems at all, and he's doing it all by himself. So thank you so much to Lucas there. That's not an
That's what happened the week. That was the week that he was by himself. The same thing.
We love you,
Thanks,
Rob.
Lucas.
Yeah, so thank you to everybody, and thank you to everybody in the back working hard for us today. Maggie, Natalie, everybody there, Rob, of course, and then a big thank you to Brendan, always dropping the news and clarifying if markets are up or down for us, which is very, very important as well. Hopefully, all of you are safe with your Shiba Inu, as we're still at 767 there, and Brendan is still working, as you can see.
I was waiting for some earnings here.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah. That's kind of why I'm delaying this. But anyways, all right, it's 4:03, guys. Stay tuned for the trade of the day. Good earnings hopefully coming out tonight. Sleep well, and we'll be back tomorrow, 8:30. See ya.
Bye, guys.